into today, we're going to talk about the energies. How are people doing with the energies? Because the solar energy, the geomagnetic storms, they create disturbance and like kind of fluctuations, especially with the spike in Schumann resonance that's been happening. For those of you who are energy sensitive, not everybody is. Some people are empaths and they tune into different things. Some people are empathic and they can really feel fluctuations in the atmosphere. I happen to be one of them. I can really feel if it feels noisy and loud and glitchy. So if you're feeling that, this is how I even started getting into all of this with the solar flares. How do you know if you can feel it? I'll tell you how it works for me, and then everybody probably has their own way of knowing that they feel it. For me, it's because I know when I can drop into my still point, right? Which is like that place of peace. And sometimes when it feels harder to get to, and sometimes it's my own work that, is coming up for me to address. This is why I started checking, because what I noticed years ago is I would feel something in the morning that would just feel like noisiness, okay? And that's the only way I can really describe it. It feels like disturbance, energetic disturbance. And it can feel very hard to kind of land, and it can feel hard to feel that stillness. And so when I started noticing that, at the time, my husband and I, we wake up in the morning, we have a beautiful morning ritual. And I remember this is years ago, I was like, let me check the solar flares. And I was starting to see some rhythm. I was seeing some synchronicity that when I was feeling a certain way, there seemed to be a lot of solar energy coming through. Now, when I was Googling it on mainstream Google, of course, they're like, no, it doesn't disturb the human. And I'm like, yeah, but we're all electric and energetic. Well, how could that not affect me? So I started writing it on Instagram. Oh, solar flare came through. And then that is when I noticed that there was an audience for it that I didn't know. I actually felt very self-conscious the first couple times I was writing those, because I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I talking about? And then lo and behold, now many people, like there's so many people who are tuning into the energies, the Schumann resonance, the solar energy, and tying it to this awakening that's happening on this planet. So that's actually part of what I want to just talk about for the next 5 minutes before we go into the healing. All right, that's interesting. Something just clicked for me because I can often feel scattered and disturbed first thing in the morning, and it will be, yes. So just connect that, Sophie. See if that might have to do with, some solar energy coming through. I notice, so like there's different classes of solar flares. There's the C class, there's the M class, which is more intense, and then there's the X class. And I've noticed that, and there's coronal mass ejections that come, and we actually had one earth facing, I think yesterday or the day before, and that will often indicate that there's more energy coming through. And so that was also what was showing to me that there's something building right now, and that it's connected to more awakenings happening, okay? I also wrote in my post yesterday on Instagram and Twitter, and where else, Threads and Facebook, that when the awakening energy comes through, think about it this way. It's these high frequencies coming through, really high frequencies, and it's hitting density. So it's kind of this interaction, right, of high energy and dense energy or low energy. And it creates like this disturbance in the field. But it's also happening within us because these frequencies come through and they affect us and our energy field. And then it interacts with our density. All right. So this is partly why it can correspond to awakenings, and that there's nobody on this planet who is fully awakened. All right. We are continuously awakening, which is moving deeper into understanding. Now, there may be some people who are able to see the different layers of this reality and the fourth and the fifth. They can sense it, but ultimately, and this is why we always talk about heart development. Ultimately, what will happen is if we're not awakening in tandem with developing the heart, we can still get locked in polarity, right? We can still get locked at blaming the elites, blaming the, whomever is they who's, and yes, there absolutely has been some dark manipulation in this reality. But ultimately, this awakening is about awakening and recognizing that the power to shift our life, to move into a more fulfilling, freer, meaningful life is sourced from within us. That is what is awakening. And the more of us who start recognizing and feeling this beautiful source energy, this beautiful creator, divine creator energy that is core to our being, the more we feel this and we recognize it, the more that energy just starts moving out and guiding us into the new way, the new earth, which also is, the old earth as well, because a lot of ancient wisdom is coming back around from times where humanity understood the power of oneness. Okay. Worse vertigo. That makes sense, right? So if we're talking about disturbance and also this is the way I see it, which is the frequencies that come in, they're spinning. Okay. So they spin, and I have absolutely felt like sometimes I'm spinning. Grounding absolutely helps with vertigo, connecting to Mama Earth. Sometimes just sitting by a tree and just coming into coherence with the tree is really helpful. So with that being said, one more thing I want to say about awakenings. So, and this is what's interesting. So the more that we go through these activations that, the frequencies come in, they disturb, they interact with, our shadow, they interact with our unconscious parts, our density. What happens is we keep going deeper, right? And deeper into shedding and clearing. And it's like an onion, many people use that analogy is as we're healing, it goes deeper and deeper into the onion. So, and I hope that this is not too confusing. So I want to try to keep it really simple. But we talk about negative entities, and negative entities, they can leave imprints. They can, as we've talked about the scale that there's, 1 is more parasitic all the way, we'll say to 10, which really consciously wants to come and take some people over. And you can oftentimes see it in their face, and they wouldn't be on this session because they're really not interested in sourcing energy from within them and remembering that they are divine. But as we start awakening and we start moving deeper into our, the layers of our onion, there sometimes can be an entity there at one layer that we didn't know was there. Okay. And so why I share that is because during times like this, when things are really, really charged, oftentimes we have to be aware of the negative energy and the negative entities that are also kind of being purged. Okay, so this is why it's really helpful for these Monday sessions. We come in, we we empty our vessel, we bring balance to any imbalance that's purging. And then we remember the divine within us, and we call in our ring of light, right? We call in our angels, we call in our guides, because the more we can remember that they are here with us to support us on this journey, the more we can delegate to them, the more we start understanding that this is a we game, a we, not a me, a we game. And it's not just, we with our spirit team, it's we, all of us together, right? And we start understanding that we have so much support. And first, we want to practice feeling it. And then we start delegating, saying, I've got this. Angels, can you take care of this? Guides, can you take care of this? We talked about for the sacred discipline workshop, you know, if you need support in something, you can call in a guide for that, a guide that can specify and can be focused on one area. Like for instance, I needed support with finances, you know? So I'm like, can you bring me in a guide that can be more supportive? And the guide actually was the one that was like, you need to get tighter with your systems because you're overextending yourself and you're not getting a good balance and you're getting depleted. And that doesn't support anybody. All right. So I got that nudge from a guide that I called in. Okay. Oh man, sleep has been a source of extreme stress. It's our nervous system as well. So it does activate the nervous system and it can interfere with the circadian rhythm. And, you know, that's why having your toolbox that you know works for you when the energies are elevated is really, really helpful. All right, so we're going to begin. Okay. So let's just take a moment just to feel our breath. Do I have everybody in? Yes, I do. Okay. So just take a moment, everybody, as we begin to first, let's feel that ring of light around us as we each call in our family of light, our spirit team. And it's not that we're calling them in because they're not here. They're always here. It's that we're dropping into a point where we can be aware of them. And they're always excited when we are aware because that's when they can really connect with us and bring us support or mirror to us who we truly are. And so we're just breathing right now, calling in that ring of light. And may we all ask our team, our angels, to support us in clearing away any interference. Okay, so let's clear out any interference in our environment, any density, anything that's interfering with us connecting to our light. Anything that's interfering with us connecting to our truth. We are asking support from our angels, from our guides to help clear this out. And so you can just sense energy clearing out. We're also clearing away any interference within our field. And just breathing. This is a nice way for us to start this session together. Just all of us in unison, in community, clearing out interference, clearing out any interference in Zoom, in this vessel that we are creating together. Beautiful. And now just bringing your awareness down towards the floor and just breathing into the ground and just pausing here as we feel that beautiful sacred connection to the earth. And as we breathe, we feel oneness with the earth. This is not something to overthink. And so just allow your analytical mind to start slowing down as you breathe, as you feel the earth and you feel your awareness moving down. It also supports us in starting to move our energy down, bring our spirit fully back in, feeling spirit move down through the body, through the legs, all the way down into our field. And just breathe here. And then may we all take a break right now, a conscious break from our personality, from our 3D personality. So feel your human personality. And remember, the personality is what's holds our belief systems, our thought patterns, our programmed emotions, okay? So just being aware of your 3D personality and feeling your 3D personality just start to dissolve. Just feeling your identity, your name, just feel it melt away as we just start to connect to our infinite awareness, our infinite light. And just breathe here as we understand the power in feeling who we are beyond our human form. It's wonderful to have this human experience. And we can send a blessing, a beautiful blessing to our human body for all that it does for us, to support us in life here on earth. But may we all be able to expand our awareness beyond our human form so that we can feel how limitless we are, so that we can feel how connected to the unified field of one we are. And the more we feel this and we practice feeling this, we bring this expanded awareness back into our human life. And it allows us to hold a much bigger perspective. It allows us to be open to solutions that we weren't able to see or think through when limited to only our human perspective. And so just breathe as you feel your infinite nature. Feeling the freedom, the peace, the stillness that comes when we expand and we feel how multidimensional we are. Like an accordion, going in and out, in and out. And when life gets too hard, and we feel like we've hit a wall and we can't figure it out, that's when we need to move the accordion out so that we move out of human ego and we move into divine, eternal spirit, connected to all things, all potentials. And this is what allows us to broaden our perspective and to be open to bring divine support into whatever problem we are trying to solve. And the more we open ourselves to the unified field of one, the more we start feeling and understanding that we are in co-creation with something far bigger than ourselves. And that co-creation is guiding all of us to our freedom, to our abundance, to our fulfillment. So again, calling in that ring of light and just pausing and breathing here as you really feel your angels surrounding you right now. You really feel your guardians from the light surrounding you. Just feel that presence around you right now. And just breathe here, letting go of any expectations of what this needs to look like or be. Remembering that when we are present and we are open to connect with our angels, that is all that is necessary. And as we breathe here, feeling this beautiful ring of unconditional love surrounding each one of us, may we also bring through a beautiful angelic attunement. So right now, moving into our field, we are bringing in a beautiful angelic frequency, moving through every layer of our being, clearing out any imbalance in any of our bodies, and just breathing here as we get our ego mind out of the way, allowing our focus to be in this moment, this present everlasting moment, as this frequency continues to move through each of us, inviting every one of us to raise our vibration to our divine expression, to the truth of who we are before we learned who we were not. And then just bringing your awareness to that spark of light, that source light within you, within the core of your being, without overthinking, just moving to it intuitively, bringing your awareness to it, to witness it, to give it attention, to feel this source, this divine source within you. And just breathe into it and feel it expand through your attention of it, filling up your whole body, infusing every cell in your body, every organ, every bone, with the memory of who you truly are. A divine being of light, here to co-create in the name of unconditional love, infusing every cell within your body with this recognition and memory as it continues to expand into your emotional body, your mental body, infusing every thought and belief system and emotion with the memory, with the recognition of your truth, and breathing here as it continues to expand this beautiful source light, and remembering that this source light within you is what leads you, is what guides you to absolute fulfillment. This light within you guides you to your highest timeline that you have created for yourself in this lifetime, to be a part of this transition, this shift into the new way. That the more you honor this light within you and allow it to guide you, the more you uplift humanity. Because your freedom is everybody's freedom. Your fulfillment is everybody's fulfillment. It makes it more accessible for those in human conditions right now who do not have the mental or emotional space to raise their consciousness right now. So may we do for all that cannot do it for themselves right now. And just breathing here as we just take a moment just to see ourselves, see our human expression infused with our divine, and see yourself in front of a path, and see that path blessed, blessed and awakened by this light within you. So you're standing in front of a path right now as your human divine expression. And that path is lit up and awakened by the light within you. And just breathe as you feel this path becoming more realized. The more you believe that you hold and are the light. And then just feeling that beautiful angelic attunement moving through us once more, just to clear out any old resistance, old programs that want to interfere with us claiming our sovereignty, claiming our birthright at abundance and fulfillment and a life of meaning. So we're just clearing out any resistance as you continue to breathe and be and feel that ring of light around you. And then just feel your light, your aura around you, and just be aware of your aura, because this is a nice, simple exercise to bring it more into presence, more into conscious awareness when we are aware of the field around us. And then let's just do our peacock feathers. So just fanning out your peacock feathers in a way to just really stretch out and just feel the magnificence of you, your light, and your field. And just breathe here. And now let's place a big, strong shield around us just to reinforce our boundary, especially as the field is very turbulent and disturbed right now. So just place that beautiful shield, whatever color resonates with you. I offer gold, but some people like violet, whatever feels right for you and your unique soul. So placing that beautiful shield around you just to filter out anything other than love. Let's place that shield around our home environment as well, as we place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. And let's take one deep breath in together through the belly. And then sigh it out. And then we close with the awareness that all that we cleared, all that we released, and all that we reawakened within us, it is done. It is complete. And so it is. And so just taking a moment just to bring your awareness back to where you're sitting, to the room,